We are ending the work week with sunshine, but waking up on our weekend with some snow. This is what we're seeing for our first warn alert day, which has prompted us another late March snow system, which is going to be bringing us 1 to 6 inches of snow throughout much of southern Wisconsin. Stick around throughout our Wednesday. Now, in terms of light snowfall, it's not going to be too organized. We're looking at areas that will be more isolated of seeing light snow. Since we are staying on the cool end, we also have some cloud cover and some showers that are pretty scattered throughout southern Wisconsin. We are just dampening the chances of us seeing severe storms. So don't expect much sunshine, even though our graphic wants us to have just a little bit of it. But as we get into the weekend, we are looking at some great news for us. Even though it's going to be pretty windy, we are looking for warmer air to roll into the upper Midwest. That cold front sweeps through. You can see those temperatures dropping. But on top of it, that's where the storms are going to start to fire off around 10 o'clock. So heat is on by the time we're already kicking off our Saturday morning. And once we get into this afternoon, it's going to be even worse. So make sure that you're staying hydrated if you're going to be outside for today. And we're still having a gorgeous start to our evening as we get ready for the concerts on the square to really start to kick off for us. Traffic is heavy down here in terms of people, but not necessarily for the cars. But let's go ahead and dive into our weather. For the concerts on the square forecast, it's going to be mostly sunny for us, folks. Not too humid. It's going to be rather comfortable as well. And as we take a look at what we're going to be seeing for the impacts of it, is that these threats from any of the storms that are going to be possible will be hail, high winds, and a potential tornado is also something that we cannot rule out. It's not to be drying out, but since we have open sky, plenty of sunshine, and warmer temperatures, again, that's going to be fuel for us to start to see some storms getting into the later part of today.
Stay inside, be weather aware. I mean, alert day today, you know, being inside on a Saturday, not really what people want to hear, but sometimes you just got to do it.
It's hot, man. You got to stay inside.
You heard it from Julian. Thank you.
I'm McKenna Alexander.
And I am Julian Seawright.
I missed you last weekend.
I missed you too, buddy. I'm glad to have you back. That's right. We're going to be expecting to see those big changes, not just for today, because we've been into the middle and upper 60s throughout much of southern Wisconsin as the cloud cover had cleared up for us throughout much of this afternoon. Whew, we have a lot going on here for our alert day. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are alert days for us. And we had a little bit of a change in locations this morning. I'm outside of the Agora Art Fair, which is going to be starting at 10 this morning until 5 p.m. Rain or shine, which is good news for us because we have been dealing with a bit of showers earlier this morning. A siren is just one warning, and its alarm may be too little, too late. We want you to put together your severe weather plan in 3 parts. Get ready for severe weather in advance. Get set when severe weather threatens, and go to your safe place. As weather forecasters, we usually start to see the signs of severe weather event a few days out. Forecasts from the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center will show outlooks of severe weather risk up to a week in advance, ranging from a marginal risk, an isolated severe thunderstorms, to high risk for widespread and dangerous severe weather outbreaks. During this get ready stage, we'll start to talking about the potential of severe weather, adding alert days to the forecast when there is a good possibility of it occurring. Next comes the get set phase. This is your opportunity to take the steps that will help keep you and your loved ones safe. But first and foremost, make sure that you have multiple ways to receive weather alerts. Weather radios are a great way to receive weather bulletins, but make sure you have batteries. And if you're relying on a cell phone, well, make sure that it's charged. But know that if you are near the storm or in the path of a storm, but not in the actual polygon, you will not get warned. But the bottom line is this: it's important to know that you have multiple ways of receiving a weather alert.
This is like the seatbelt in your car. This is like the airbags in your car. Together, they're a potent combination for keeping you safe.
Again, that siren, that should be your last backup and is not your first warning that severe weather is about to strike. Make sure your family has multiple ways of receiving weather alerts, whether they're at home or someplace else. When severe weather arrives, you'll know and be prepared to go.
Could be waking up to another storm this weekend, a white one. Some snow is on the way. Hi, Julian.
That's right. We are ending the work week with sunshine, but waking up on our weekend with some snow. This is what we're seeing for our first warn alert day, which has prompted us another late March snow system, which is going to be bringing us 1 to 6 inches of snow throughout much of southern Wisconsin, with the heaviest amounts being southeast of Dane County. Now, the timing of it is going to be after midnight throughout our Saturday morning. We're going to see some lingering snow into our Saturday afternoon, but folks, we're going to go ahead and break down everything you need to know with it. So here's a look at what we're seeing for the accumulating snow. If you are going to be north and west of US 151, mainly going to be light snow, some flurries throughout much of your Saturday morning. Any accumulations is mainly going to be on the grassy surfaces. Otherwise, your roads may be a little wet, but will definitely dry by the time we get into our afternoon. But if you're onto the south and eastern side of US 151, this is what we're seeing the heaviest snowfall between 7 and 11 a.m. Possible for some tree line damage because of the heavy wet snow, but we're mainly going to be concerned with the roadways throughout the morning hours. Slushy roads and some brief periods of snow-covered roads are going to be expected, but again, once we get into the afternoon and snow starts to move its way out, we're going to be looking for the roads to really improve in terms of conditions by the time we get into the afternoon hours. So this is what we're seeing as of right now. Quiet Friday evening is on tap. Once we get past midnight, we're going to start to see some developments of some light snow moving its way into southern areas of Wisconsin. This will be just south of Madison from Monroe, Janesville, over even towards Waukesha. We're looking at some lighter snow starting to develop. And once we get into around the 4 o'clock hour, still overnight, we're still asleep. So this is where we're going to look at this development of snow being much more widespread, even reaching areas near Juneau and Fond du Lac. But for Dane County, we're going to start to see much more of that heavier snow starting to pick its way up once we get into around the 7 o'clock hour. So once we do start to wake up, if we're not sleeping in for our Saturday morning. But take note, our friends to the west, just outside of Grant and Crawford County, that snow starts to move its way out. Once we get to the lunchtime hour, then it's starting to even leak its way mainly to the eastern side of southern Wisconsin. So even parts of Dane County is no longer really looking at snowfall around this time. And as we get closer to the early Saturday morning hours, temperatures are going to warm up. We're going to be into the upper 30s, even the 40s for our friends to the west. So any snow that has fallen is already going to be melting by the time we get to this period. And on top of it, plenty of sunshine is going to help with that as well. And as we continue throughout the rest of our Saturday afternoon, the snow moves its way across Lake Michigan. Now we're just dealing with some drier and chillier conditions heading into our Saturday nights. In terms of how much snow we are expecting is a very sharp cutoff, especially for our friends to the west. 1 to 3 inches into that light shaded blue, but around Dane County, the northwest, not looking for too much in terms of snow, but around Madison and to the southeast, 3 to 6 inches, and the further southeast you are, to be from Green and Rock County and areas near Milwaukee, around 6 inches or potentially even more thanks to that lake effect. Now, outside of that, we are looking for 3 things to know. Just note, snow is going to develop after midnight. We are expecting 1 to 6 inches throughout much of southern Wisconsin, with the heaviest being into the southeastern corridor. Outside of that, though, folks, temperatures are going to stay chilly, holding into the 40s for the next few days, and we do have another unsettled pattern heading into next week. We're going to be seeing temperatures rise into the 50s by the time we get into Friday, which could bring in some thunderstorm potential for us